In the dark old days of the beginning time, nothing had a voice. The echo of silence rolled across the dry void of the universe, no presence except for a male and female star. So far apart, not even the spirits could hear them. Sky was hungry for the fist of fire, also for cleansing winds and fresh rain, birds and the power of mystery. When earth sank down, a sky lifted up, and both sun and moon were born. The Milky Way formed a web of far extending potential, while on earth, seas and mountains emerged from rainbow mist. Leaving night and abiding day came about at the same time that leaves grew and died on trees. But there were no animals, or fish, no snakes, or insects, or inquisitive turtles. When the merging of the first dawn brought together the male and female stars, they discovered the delight of song. This was the first harmony, the first unity, the supreme connection of the great hanging space in the universe. When the morning stars sang together, the heartbeat of the earth began, and in the sky, the oldest hunger was satisfied. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. These were the first words I heard when I arrived for my first day of school at the Star King School for Ministry. Actually, they weren't spoken, they were sung. The second, third, and fourth year students, professors, and staff had gathered outside to welcome the first year students to the school. We stood outside singing short songs that were relatively easy to learn and can be sung over and over and over again until they end when it's time. Over the next few days, as I got to know my fellow students, one by one they expressed their love of singing, their joy at being able to sing together with others who liked to sing as well. Many had been choir members in their churches before heeding their call to ministry. I began to suspect that I might be the only one who disliked singing. And I began to wonder if there was a requirement that ministers also needed to be able to sing. A week later, I met with my academic advisor to review my schedule. I declared, I'm going to take a singing class, and I'm going to learn how to sing once and for all. He raised his eyebrows at me, nodded his head, and said, okay. There was really no other answer at that point. At my first music class, the professor had us sit in a circle in the middle of the Episcopal chapel with arching ceilings and stained glass windows that filtered colored light all around, cool stone floors, religious figures draped in gold, and just a hint of frankincense and myrrh. We were a class of 6 women. We introduced ourselves and shared why we had chosen to take that class. Every single one of us shared that we could not sing. Each had been told that we could not sing. And if we weren't told that, we were told to be quiet. Much later in the semester, after we had gotten to know each other, after we had sung together, and after each of us had tried singing by ourselves, our professor told us that he had heard the same story from every single person who took that class over many, many years. Each person who walked into that class had been told explicitly or implicitly that they could not sing or that they should not raise their voices. When the administration suggested that the introduction to the music class be canceled because of low enrollment, the professor advocated to keep the class because he recognized that the people who took that class really needed it. Not because we learned how to sing or read music, but because for so many it was the very first time that we could talk about our voices and eventually try using our voice to sing. We shared our stories. Back in the day when Walkmans first hit the market, there was a song called Doctor, Doctor by the Thompson Twins. I loved that song. I would play it, rewind the cassette, play the song again, rewind the cassette. You know the story. Some of you, that is. Holding the headphones tight to my ears, I'd sing along, Doctor, Doctor, is this love I'm feeling? Oh, oh. I was in utter preteen bliss. After listening to me croon through the song for maybe the 10th time, my mother finally barked at me, "Take those things off! You sound like you're dying. Can't you sing?" And clearly, the answer was no. No, I can't sing. How many of you have been told that you can't sing? Keep your hands up. Or have been told that you do not know how to sing? Or that you are to be seen and not heard? All right, let me see your hands now. Maybe about half of us, maybe a little more, maybe 60%. That's more than half. Just sit with that for a moment. The majority of people in this space now have been told at some point or heard that you can't sing. Or maybe somebody laughed at you, or somebody told you to be quiet. And you believed that what they were telling you was the truth. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. Everyone can sing. Each one of us has a voice. Someone once said, like a fingerprint, each voice is the print of the person and is a unique treasure, a gift from Allah. Your voice is like a fingerprint. It's a gift from God, a gift from Allah, a gift from the mixing of the chromosomes of your parents. Your voice is a gift, and it's a gift that you can share with others. It is a gift you can receive from another without judgment. Singing, chanting, sounding, and toning, making vocal noises with others is has a long history with human beings. Long before we ever had electricity and MP3 players and iPhones and video games, we sang. We made music together. We drummed and sang and danced and clapped and chanted. We sung to scared babies and children. We sang songs of joy. We sang of our fear and our sorrow. We sang our praises to Mother Earth and Father Sky. We sang songs to call the wind and the rain. We sang songs to raise the sun in the morning. We sang songs to encourage the corn to grow. Eons later, some of us gathered around upright pianos in parlors and sang ballads and love songs and songs about broken hearts. Children, teenagers, grandparents, parents, young and old, we lifted our voices together in song. Not too long ago in this Western culture in which we live, music was considered an important part of life and a well-rounded education. Learning how to read music and sing was part of our school curriculum. I don't know if we do that today. I have a feeling it's been cut. Because singing and its variations of chanting, sounding, and toning has been so very important in human life, It has worked its way into some of our creation stories, religions, and mythologies. In Hindu traditions, it is taught that the sound Om, which we sang today, created the universe. Life was birthed with its utterance. When we chant Om, we vocalize the O, and then the But there is also the inhale that comes first. Sometimes you may find Om written as A-U-M. A is the inhale. The U is the O sound. The M is the dying part of the cycle. And then we begin again with the inhale, continuing the cycle of life. Om is the sound that created the universe and is the full spiral of birth, life, and death. Om represents the three aspects of God in Hinduism: Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. The poem from earlier this morning shares that when the morning stars sang together, the heartbeat of the earth began. This poem, written by Nancy Wood, was inspired by her many years living and working with the Pueblo Indians in New Mexico. The notion that singing brings forth life shows up in a number of popular stories. In the Chronicles of Narnia, Aslan, the lion, sang life into the new world that would become Narnia. The supreme creator character in J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings sang the universe into being through holy music and chanting. Singing and chanting bring new life into the universe according to our stories. And according to science and modern brain scans, singing releases oxytocin in our brains, which in turn can bring each of us a sense of new life. Oxytocin is naturally produced in our bodies. When low levels of oxytocin are released into the brain, it helps us to establish a sense of intimacy and attachment to those around us. Oxytocin helps us to break down social barriers as it increases our sense of trust, self-esteem, optimism, and empathy. Ongoing studies indicate that it may be helpful for people suffering from depression, social anxieties, and extreme shyness. Oxytocin relieves pain, reduces stress, and increases generosity. It's kind of the miracle drug. Part of why we sing together in church is to feel this greater sense of connection, empathy, and generosity that comes when oxytocin is released. Singing together creates new pathways in the brain. Even simply listening to others can cause oxytocin to be released. We've not always known why singing together felt good, but we have felt it. I believe that we feel it here when we sing more well-known songs together. I feel that this connection when the choir offers a piece of music or when just a few people share their voices with us like this morning. I pray and I hope that we feel the gift of all of this music, feel it in our guts. When a group of people sing together and listen to others, we begin to synchronize. Our hearts begin to beat at the same rhythm, and our voices influence those around us. We become one singing, breathing mass of music making. Our individual voices create a whole, beautiful tapestry of song. Our voices weave in and out and all around, creating something that cannot be done by ourselves alone. The tapestry of song, where each unique voice becomes golden fiber, enhancing the others. Perhaps, as we sing together over time, those echoes of believing that we can't sing will be replaced with a sense of connection and knowledge. That each one of us can sing and that our voice is important, and it is a gift. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like if the choir had 50 members? Imagine what it would be like if half the congregation came forward and sang during the musical offering, and 50 other folks were sitting back and enjoying this gift. 100 individuals feeling connected. 100 of us here gathered in this place, knowing deep inside that our bodies belong and that we are each a part of something greater than ourselves alone. Imagine a choir of 50 people, maybe 60. This is what church is all about. It is to create a deep sense of knowing that each one of us is important, that each one of you matters, that each one of you is enough, and that you have a gift to share. It is knowing that there is someone, maybe sitting right next to you, that needs that gift of your song, of your voice. And maybe when you come on Sunday morning, you need that gift yourself. I talked to Joy, our music and choir director, and she will welcome you. Every single one of you who raised your hands and said, "I can't sing," she will welcome you with open conducting arms, and the new season begins in a couple of weeks. If you are interested, her email's on the back of your order of service. The choir practices on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock sharp before worship, and Joy also creates recordings for you to sing along with over the week. And yes, this is an open invitation to join the choir, possibly try something new and embrace the gift of your unique voice. It may feel scary, but your oxytocin will be released into your brain, and then singing will feel good, and you won't be afraid. Singing with the choir and sharing your unique voice on Sunday morning can be one of the most fulfilling ways to give to the congregation. Is that true? I thought so. And what you receive is tenfold. When my mother retired a few years back, she started taking singing lessons. At some point along the way, the instructor gave my mother an assignment. She was to listen to the piece of music she was learning on headphones, and then record what she was singing as she sang along. A few days later, she called me up and told me about her recent homework assignment, and then said, "I am so sorry for what I said to you when you were 13. I sound just as awful as you did." I don't know why my mother's singing teacher gave that particular assignment. I don't know if it helped her singing, but I do know that her apology 30-something years later meant something to that 13-year-old singing her heart out to Dr. Doctor. My hope for each of you as we sing together on Sunday morning is to feel a deeper sense of connection to each other, to this community, and all that is sacred. May it be so.